Hello,
Hi Mario, how are you today?
how are you?
Baruch Hashem, good.
Do you like baseball?
Not really,
Hmm.
not really. I find it very slow
We took
moving.
we took our employees, our maintenance techs, to the game of the Dodgers. I thought I was going to
Yeah.
die of heat and seeing them fresh everything, and I was drinking a soda.
When did you go? Which game?
Hmm?
Which games did you go to?
Dodgers versus Tampa Rays. It was supposed to be a very exciting game. For me, it wasn't.
Do you have good seats?
I verstehe nicht. I don't understand the game.
It's not so difficult to figure out, but it's very slow moving.
It's what?
It's slow,
Yeah. It
you
was,
know.
we were sitting for 3.5 hours.
Right, right. When did you go? Sunday?
Sorry?
One, one.
We were 20 people, 20,
Oh my
22
God!
actually.
Wow.
A waste of money. And I bought them food. I bought food for nine and the other supervisor for another nine. But then I spent 350 bucks, not mine,
Yeah.
but
Food is crazy.
yeah. And the parking, you know how much the parking is?
Yeah, $50.
45.
Yeah. Did you go to the kosher stand?
The what?
Did you go to the kosher food stand?
No, there isn't.
What
I
do you mean
didn't,
there's there
if
is?
there is, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, there is. There is. I think Jeff's has.
Hmm. Oh, it's
But
okay.
even a hot dog is like what, $12, $15?
Well, the non-kosher hot dogs were like, oh, I don't know, because it was a combo. Each combo was $40. They give you chips, chips with two hot dogs and,
Beer.
and melted cheese on top of the chips and two small sodas that were 80% ice and the rest soda. The beers, the can of beers at $20.
Yeah, it's crazy. But people are buying. People buy.
Yeah, yeah. And people were going, and not my people, because we bought them lunch, but then they went on their own to get beers. And so they must have spent each probably $100
Okay.
in.
All right, the Rebbe's here.
Hello, Ernie.
I,
Tomorrow I have to teach at 8:15 in the morning.
Oh, well, I will have to pass. I'm sorry. I can't.
okay.
But whoever is Walter in town?
I don't know. What about Harold?
Harold told me he was going to New Jersey, so I don't know.
Okay, well, let's put it out at that time if possible, because
Okay,
I can't teach tomorrow night. I could teach in the morning.
okay.
Okay, Memched. Nitla shalpuchit shalakshera. If the uterus of the animal is removed, then the animal is kosher. Itlia kovet shalaf, the liver had a lot of worms in it. Zaya ma'isa v'alo aleh bnei asa shalosh regalim liyavna. They went back 3 consecutive Yomim Tovim when the Sanhedrin was in Yavna. L'regel Shlishi Tirulem, but they voted on the halacha on the third Yontif, and they said it was kosher. Amrav Yosef Bar Yumi Amrav Nachman. Reya smucha l'doifen. So the chest wall, the lung is within the chest cavity. And if there's connection between the lung and the chest wall, we're not concerned that there's a hole in the lung. Ain't chayshish in law. Hell, it's because the disease was probably in the chest wall. But hell, it's smachim chayshish in law. If there's blisters in the lung around where it was connected to the chest wall, then we worry that it might be a treifa. That's what Rav Nachman said. In both cases, we have to be concerned that there might have been a hole in the lung. Hechi Avdinan, Ravin Bar Shama Asberli. Ravin Bar Shama explained that you take mysin and sakina the cholosh pumei, very sharp knife, law, and you divide this scar tissue between the lung and the chest wall. And then, if you see that the disease started in the chest wall, then you don't have to worry about the lung and the animal is kosher. Below machmas freyu, otherwise it's because of the lung. And you utreifa v'avagav lo kamafkazika. Even when we blow air in our experiment, we don't see air coming out of it. We assume that it was treif. He would inflate it in lukewarm water and see if there was holes before he would say it's treif. Armalei Marzutra Braid Ravuna Braid Rav Popular Ravina. Had Rav Nechemia Braid Rav Yosef Osun Hamas Nisan. This, putting it in lukewarm water and checking, Ana Adarava Mas Nisan. We learned it that it was connected to Rava. The Amar Rava. Hani Tarti Uni Derea de Srichiladodi. You have two lobes that are connected to each other. Less lubdigusa lachshur. We can't check it. We assume that there was a hole. But Rav Nechemia, Rav Yosef, Badik Labibshuri, he would inflate it in lukewarm water, and if there was no air bubbling, he would say it's kosher. Maski, if Rav Ashi, hi mai. I understand when you check the chest wall and there's a defect there, then I understand it's not related to the lung, it's kosher. Here you have two lobes of the lung. Either this one has a hole in it or this one has a hole in it. Either way, it's going to be treif. Did Rav Nachman hold like this? If there's a hole in the lung, but it was close to the chest wall, so there was a sealing, it's sealed by the chest wall, then it's kosher. How come you said before that it might be a treif? Lo kasher. Hasmakam revisa. On the top of the lung, where the lungs are very close to the chest wall, versus hacha shalobamak revisa, where the lung is not close. When the lung is close, so that the chest wall will heal it. When it's not close, it won't. When it's near the top of the lung cavity. Gufam Rav Yosef Bar Manyum Rav Nachman. If there was a hole in the lung, but the chest wall sealed it, it's kosher on Ravina. Now, the chest wall, between the ribs, you have flesh. So you have to see that the hole in the lung was sort of intertwined with the flesh, not the bone. If it's stuck to the bone, that's not a good healing. The hole in the lung would not have healed. Armalei Rav Yosef Larvina. Treifa. So what do you tell me? If it's not, when we evaluate it, it's not in the meat between the ribs, you're going to say it's treifa? Alman rina nakuvahu. Then you're saying that the lung is has a hole in it. So then who cares if it got dealt with by the flesh between the ribs? Once you have a hole in the lung, it should be treif. Tanya, nikiv possible neshu shoises. by a male urethra that has a hole, and he's urinating out of the hole, not out of the tip of his urethra, and the ejaculation is coming that way as well, he's a krushufcha, and he can't get married to Klal Yisrael. But nistam kosher neshu moilin. If it got sealed, here you can be zeu posel shechoizu lachshera or risho. This is a psul that can go back to original kashrus. When it says zeh, the case of the urethra, lemute mai lav lemute kai gavna. It's to say that here, once the lung has a hole in it, you can't kasher it again. Where's this low? Lemute krum she'olam achmas maka bereya. We're talking about if you have a membrane that grew, or a scab that grew at a hole of a lung, that is not going to seal permanently. Ain't no krum. But here, where there's a hole in the lung that gets connected to the meat in between the ribs, that's going to heal properly. Maski floravut ukva barchama. Ilu inkim b'doifen lado my treifa. If there's now escaping air, even from the chest wall, what would be the din? Treifa? If that's the case, listening to kuvas adofen, one of the 18 treifa should be a hole in the chest wall. So based on that, we said if the gallbladder has a hole, but the liver seals it, it's kosher. But ilu inkiv kovid lado my treif. If the liver then gets another hole and the bile is coming through that hole, based on what you're saying here, it also would be treif. And then listening to kuvas hakove. Another example of a treif would be a hole in the liver. But we don't mention that. Elaki nikva delav minei mitrafaloktani. It's not a hole in the liver, it's a hole in the gallbladder that started it. Hachanami, here it's not the hole in the chest wall that started it. Even the lav minei mitra for the chest wall is not the problem. The problem is the lung. It didn't mention when it re-leaks loktani. Boy minei Rav Bar Rav Chana Mishmuel. Helzot smachim mau. The lung has blisters with pus. Armerle kshera, because that can heal. Armerle avani omer kain. Elisha talmidim mizdanzim badover. They were uncertain. Damar of Master Malya Mugla Treifa. If these blisters were full of pus, it's treif. If it's Maim Zakim Kshe, if it's clear water, it's kosher. So Shmuel answered, Amalei, that's not about the lung. Ahu bekuya idmar. That's a diseased kidney. We have a blister on it. If it's filled with pus, it's a problem. If it's just clear fluid, that's like a renal cyst, it's not a problem. Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef Avakazal Basrid Rav Yirmiyah b'Shuka de Tabachi. Rav Yitzchak walked behind Rav Yirmiyah and the butcher, in the market of the butchers. Chazir lanat the kaimen tzimchi tzimchi. They saw along with blisters. Amr lei lo mar umsa. You want to buy meat? Amr lei Leslie Priti. I have no money. Amr lei akfanan, I'll give you credit. Amr lei ma avid lach. The Chiyos l'kamed Rav Yechlan, Mishtadel l'kamed Rav Yehuda, Rav Shimon. Rav Yechlan would send people to Rav Yehuda, the more b'shmer b'losuk Rav Shimon le'teira. But the less losfit, Rav Yechlan didn't say that lungs with pus in it are mutter. In fact, Rav Yechlan held it was not, and that's why Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef didn't buy the meat. Amar Rava. Ki have a maskinan b'streit Rav Nachman. When we would walk behind Rav Nachman b'shuka, the Gildoi, people who worked with leather, others say it was the rabbi's market. They saw lungs full of these blisters. They didn't say it's treif. They were walking through the market in Tiberias. They saw also lungs with blisters. They didn't say it was treif. So these are permitted. Itmar. You have a needle in the lung. Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Chanina, Machshiri. They said the animal is kosher. Rish Lakish, Rabbi Pashi, Rabbi Shimon ben Eliakim, Tarfi. What's the machloikas lema b'akamifli? The marsar v'chitzron b'v'tin shmei chitzron. Where the needle is, there's a lack of lung tissue. And if a internal chisaron is considered a chisaron, it's treif. Umarsar v'lo shmei chisaron. Is that the machlokas? The Gemara says lo. Kulam chisaron b'v'tin lo shmei chisaron. An internal deficiency in the lung is not a deficiency. How did the needle get to the lung? It came through the trachea, not through he swallowed it in the esophagus, then it penetrated eventually into the lung. There you have holes in the intestine, holes in the lung. That would be treif. If it went down the wrong pipe in the trachea, that would be kosher. There was a needle. The lung had been sliced open, and they saw a needle there. They brought to Ravami. Sover Lakshuri. He wanted to say that it probably came in through the trachea, so it's kosher. Eis Rav Yirmiyah, Vitem Rav Zrika. If a lung has a hole or it's deficient, and we said, my chasera, external, well, that's hainu nikva, that's a hole. The fact that the needle is taking up tissue in that area, it's a chisara. However, this lung was sent to Rav Yitzchak Nafcha for a ruling. Sarva Lakshuri, he also said kosher. Eitz Rab Yirmiyah, Vitem Rav Zrika, Haresh Shanikva Shechasra, a lung with a hole in it, or that's deficient, and we ask my chasra, if it's from the outside, that's the same hainu nikva, that's the same as a hole. It's internal. How it got there doesn't make a difference. If the needle is there, it would have been a trephus. They sent it to the third person, Vitarfa, and he said it's treif. Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Elazar, they said it's kosher. Then they said if they were told that the needle came through the trachea, that's why they koshered. But anan, we don't know for sure because the lung has been cut open. We don't know. It's a suffix how it got in there. Anan meizatam nachsher. Dilmi haverek hamon minkava. Maybe it happened through a puncture, and we have to be machmir because it's doraisa. Suffix doraisa lechumra. Time adelesa. That's because the lung is not intact. Ha'issa, if it was intact, v'lo minkva, and we didn't see a hole, kshera. Ivam Rav Nachman Eisen put in the red the ink of treifa. Even a tube like the bronchus, if there was a hole in it, it's treifa. How did this needle get into the lung? It must have punctured through the bronchus. So, ha'ula chaveru itmar. Rav Nachman said this in when there was one bronchus next to another. Normally, the lung tissue will seal it if it punctures through the bronchus. But in the case, if it's one bronchus against another, there's nothing to seal, and that's going to be a trephus according to Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman, Hai Hadura, this was a piece of intestine. The kanta, the inkev lade chavri migin alea. There was a hole in it, and it was next to another sort of coiled up piece of intestine. And it sealed it. So, and we say it's not treif. So how come the bronchus, we say it's treif? Ravashi, treif is kamadami ladari. You're trying to compare a hole in the intestine to a hole in the bronchus. We don't compare like that. You can make a cut in one organ and it lives. Making cut in another organ doesn't live. So just because the way the intestines work doesn't necessarily mean the way the bronchus works. There's a primary bronchus tube and the needle was found there. As for the kamed Rav Trufai, They brought it to the Chachamim, who had originally said that these kind of cases it would be treif. However, in this case, lo amr b'lo isr v'lo heter. They didn't prohibit, they didn't permit it. Why? Heter lo amru kishmaitza, because they said that a needle found anywhere in the lung makes it a treifa. Isr nami lo amr b'lo kivin this from ponarabi shtakach, since it was found in the main bronchus right off the trachea, amos in ponanakat vasay. It makes more logic that this case came through the trachea. There was a needle found in a liver. Savam Arbred Rav Yosef Lemitra wanted to make it treif. If a needle was found in just a regular piece of meat, would you treif it? We say no. So the liver should be no different. We see where the point of the needle is, where the head of the needle is. If the head of the needle is outside and the tip is in the liver, then obviously punctured from the outside. You swallowed it, went through the digestive tract and came into the liver. It would be a treifa because there's a hole in the digestive tract. But if the head of the needle is in the liver and the tip is coming out of the liver, then it must have come through the trachea, and it's kosher. Because here in this case, the needle is trying to get out of the liver. Avaktinta, hanimili bielmasa, a large needle. Avaktinta, small one, loshna kupalagav, loshna kupalavar, nikuvi nokavasoy. Doesn't make a difference which way the tip of the needle is pointing. It's always treif, because a hole was made in one of the digestive organs in order for it to get to where it is. Okay. Tomorrow we're learning at 8:15 in the morning.
And let me ask you something, Ernie.
Yes, sir.
It's early. I don't know. Who can come tomorrow at 8:15? Everybody? So why don't we just carry on, you're not prepared for the next stuff? We learn the next stuff now?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't prepare for it.
Okay.
Can you make it tomorrow, Walter, at 8:15?
It's not easy, but I'll try.
Okay. What about you, Abe? Huh? He'll try. Let's try tomorrow at 8:15.
How do you know he's muted? How do you know he said he'll try?
Because I saw, I read his lips.
I'll try.
Right. He said, I'll try. I read his lips.
I didn't know you're a lip reader also, Ernie. One of your other milers. Okay. I'm going to try